This is Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust today that you will consider this like your vitamin or supplement for your mind and heart. And wherever you receive podcasts, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, leave a rating and a brief written review. And I'm looking for some folks to talk to coach to the next level in their leadership. If you'd like to get on my calendar and to see about the possibilities, just go to drronblake.com/call, drronblake/call. And let's see if there's a possibility that we can come alongside and we can work together. I want to use a word that you hear a lot in leadership circles today. It's the word entrepreneur. You may feel, especially if you're working in a company, or you're in a not-for-profit or a pastor of a church, that you're not particularly entrepreneurial. And first of all, I always wonder when we use words, have we really defined them, and are we all on the same page as to regard to what we're talking about? Let's just look at a dictionary definition for the word entrepreneur. It's a person who organizes and manages any enterprise, and especially a business, usually with considerable initiative and risk. Well, following that definition, nearly all of us are entrepreneurs. If you have raised children, you're an entrepreneur. It's a risky proposition, and there is no safety net before you. What I'm really wanting to try to get you to think about is just think about the definition for a moment, and then apply it to your own personal life, your work life, your family life, your social life, your spiritual life. You are, wherever you are today, you have the responsibility to organize and manage an enterprise. If the enterprise is nothing more than yourself, you are managing a major enterprise. You're leading a family. You're leading your area at work. If you're a not-for-profit, you're leading your organization, a pastor of church, a CEO of business, a foreman, your department. If you're handling your own retirement investment, your savings, your debt, you are responsible for managing your economic life. So there is, in a real sense, in which all of us are entrepreneurial, and in our leadership we will have to operate that way. Now, what are some of the characteristics that does differentiate an entrepreneur? But I want you to think of yourself today as an entrepreneur. So carrying out the entrepreneurial functions, what are they? The one thing that makes so many of folks nervous about starting their own business, getting their own side hustle, is we feel like there's no safety net. It's all high risk, high reward, no safety net. And we sort of have this picture of going to the three-ring circus as a child, and the acrobats were in the center ring, and they're high above, and they're doing these risky moves. But we look down and see that underneath them is this safety net, so that if something goes wrong and one of them slips or one of them doesn't catch the other one, they won't fall to the ground and be killed. There is indeed a safety net. But yet, in the world of entrepreneurship, it's almost as though someone is doing high wire acts way up above the crowd, and they don't even have the luxury or the joy of having a safety net. It's been cut down. Well, many of us think so much about safety and security, and yet life can change, and change drastically, in a moment's notice. I don't know if it's because of the season of my life I'm in, but it seems that more of my friends and acquaintances right now are dealing with health issues. And when another one appears, it appears to us as if it comes from nowhere. And here they are, merrily going along with their lives, living their lives, doing their responsibilities, to caring for their families, and then they contract cancer or heart disease. And we are truly reminded that, in a sense, there is no safety net under any of us. Life is risky. It will be risky getting out of bed tomorrow. But let me tell you what's a greater risk. A greater risk is to sit on the sidelines and do nothing and pretend like you're playing it safe. You're not playing it safe. There is no such thing. Now, if you're a person of faith, we pray and we make a decision and we seek the best information. But there's always going to be consequences. There's consequences for decisions we make. But my friends, there are also consequences for doing nothing and ignoring progress and not seeking to get better or to do anything. So I want to kind of get you to thinking about today is all you have today, leader, is this moment. Don't wait till next week, next month, next year, next decade to get on the stick and do something. Start right now. Take a risk. Forget about building the safety net. Just get into the arena and begin to make progress. This is something all of us, regardless of what our station in life is and what our responsibilities are, can begin to act like an entrepreneur in that we forget about the safety net. Let's just get moving. One of the things that differentiates those entrepreneurs is they are often action oriented. I say it often, your life is not going to be judged on where you went to school and who your parents were and what you know, and allow me to add another one, or how safely you played life. What you are going to be judged on is what did you do, what did you execute, what actions and policies and items did you implement. So first of all, you have to get a dream, you have to get a goal, you have to get a vision. You have to decide where it is that you want to be and work your way back, knowing that when I get up tomorrow or before I go to bed this evening or the first thing when I get up in the morning, what are the actions I must begin attending to? What is it that I must start doing? Be an action-oriented person. Perhaps you haven't made out a New Year's resolution or set for yourself some goals for the new year. Could I humbly, kindly offer you one? And that is, find an area or a couple of areas in the new year in which you're going to quit thinking about it, going to quit contemplating, but that you're actually going to get up and take action. If you need to lose weight, take action. If you need to get out of debt, don't just write down a plan. That's certainly a part of it. But make up your mind you're going to be a person of action. You're going to save for retirement. Do that. You're going to read some books, some literature. You're going to take classes. It doesn't really matter what it is. My encouragement for you today is don't be a person of talk. Be a person of action. Now, the next one that I want to share with you may not be one that you often think of when you think of an entrepreneur or the spirit of an entrepreneur. But I believe if you're going to be one of those, and we're going back to the dictionary definition of the word, and that is a person who organizes and manages an enterprise, a business, and usually with considerable initiative and risk. Being an entrepreneur does not mean you fly solo, that you're up there on the trapeze all by yourself. You surround yourself with good people. You listen to the people. No one person knows everything. No one person has perfect insight into everything that ever has happened or ever will happen. So you need to be a person who listens. Find people younger than you who may be have more in common with some of the folks you're seeking to help. Find someone older than you, wiser, someone who has walked down the path, listen to them, and listen to what they say. The best things I have ever learned, I have learned from someone else. I have learned by listening. Rarely do I ever learn anything when I'm talking, but I learn a lot when I listen. The next thing that I believe would be helpful if we were to incorporate the entrepreneurial spirit in our life is, one thing that we have to say about entrepreneurs is they're resourceful. Oftentimes not much is given to them. They have to continually be looking for creative ways in which to get things done. They have to not only look for resources, they have to be resourceful. There are many of us who are used to being in organizations, and to have to go out and create something from nothing would almost cause the onset of paralysis. But you have to be resourceful. And in the day and age in which we live in, you're going to have to find creative ways and resourceful ways to get things done. But rather than looking at being at a disadvantage, do you realize the advantages we have? The fact that I'm speaking to you, and several of you I have never met, is I'm using a resource, podcasting, that is available to me that wasn't available 50 years ago. And you can find other kinds of resources. If you're going to be a leader, you must be resourceful. Another thing that I would say about an entrepreneur is they love a challenge. Don't shy away from challenges. You have been put here to meet someone's needs, to help someone, to be a difference maker, and to be a blessing. So don't shy away from a challenge. The greatest things that happen for anyone comes when they learn to overcome obstacles, meet a challenge head on, and move through it. The other thing that I would say, and the final thing I'm going to say today in regard to an entrepreneur, is that an entrepreneur is resilient. In life, there are going to be setbacks. There is no pain-free life. There is no life without stubbing our toe and falling down, and there'll even be times that you feel like everything went south, everything failed, but you're not a failure. I was speaking to a young man who had met some of life's heartaches, and I said to him, do not allow this event to make you to become resentful. Allow it to make you to be resilient. Take the heartache, the disappointments, the bad things that have happened in your life. Don't go pout in a corner, throw up your hands and give up. Don't allow it to make you to become resentful. Allow it to make you a resilient person, and you will be surprised at what can happen. Listen, leader, regardless of where you're leading or how you're leading, what would happen if you began to think of yourself as the CEO and the entrepreneur of you? Listen, you have been listening to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust today this has been like a vitamin or a supplement for your heart and mind. And wherever you receive podcasts, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom? If you could leave a rating and a brief written review, it is so helpful in enabling others who haven't located this podcast yet to find it. If you'd like to get on my calendar and let's have a talk, I'm looking for the next level leaders that I can come alongside and coach. Just go to drronblake.com/call, and you'll fill out just a very brief amount of information, and I will call you when you get on my calendar. Remember, leader, you're doing better than you think you are. You really are. And until next time, this is Dr. Ron saying, have a great and blessed day.